How's it going, guys? And welcome to Gabe's Reef. Today I was gonna do some phytoplankton. Got to get that room temperature so it doesn't shock it. I was gonna do some Midas shrimp. Kind of feed some of the guys. My circulation pump offs currently because I did throw some sinking pellets, and the clownfish was eating, and a couple other creatures were eating. The shrimp is really wreaking havoc on my bottom floor, and all the food is just, you know, all the nutrients and everything is just creating so much algae. So I do have to rake that and gravel vacuum it once a week. This is towards the end of it, either probably by tomorrow or definitely by Thursday. This has to be changed to keep up with my changing water every 7 days. They're really excited for shrimp. He's a little on the skinny side. I feel bad. I mean, I try to feed him, you know, every day shrimp. I just added a couple bottles of the Tigger and Copepod mix. That's specially designed for, I guess, breeding. It has younger ones that are ready to, I guess, procreate or whatever. And there's plenty of places to hide. Came with phytoplankton and other chemicals in there to keep them healthy and growing. In the bottle, I dumped that in, and of course, I'm going to continuously keep a really nice dosage of phytoplankton because my coral do eat it as well. So I want to make sure there's enough left over for them. I'm probably going to pluck a lot of this algae. Even though the hermits and other creatures snack on the algae, honestly, I need to clean it. It's starting to get a little bad right there on that side. And the gravel, once I clean that, clean up the glass with the magnet, it'll look good after the water change, obviously. But other than that, everyone's really healthy, you know. No deaths or nothing yet, besides a suicidal shrimp and obviously that anemone a while back, actually several weeks back. Besides that, it's really not bad. He's doing pretty well. I don't know if you guys remember, those tentacles were extremely short. They're long. This thing is ginormous. I mean, it wasn't that big when I got it, but now it's like huge. Some points is almost taller than the rocks. What is taller than rocks? As long as I keep it away from the other corals, I'm perfectly fine with it. These two are almost starting to touch. That's not bueno. This is actually finally coming back. There's one Aptasia I see right there, and I'm about to treat. But besides that, that's coming back. And for a while there, it was just completely gone. The candy heads, there's a bazillion of them popping up everywhere. They're so big. I want it to kind of grow out away from the rock so it has more room to grow. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to move it or what. This just keeps getting bigger. Lobo, you can tell the heads have grown because they're grown up on each other. Mushrooms are doing good. I got 2 new sprouts right there. He's doing well. He's moving around on his own. And then the new addition, I'm terrible with names. I know you guys know what these are. Probably some kind of zoanthian or some kind of, you know. Hopefully he'll grow. He's going to grow. I wanted to remove him off the plug, but this way I know he won't fall. So I know he can cover that plug no problem. So I'm just going to let him grow over the plug and onto the rocks. I know they like to take over, but I'm fine. There's nothing in this whole entire area right here. So I'm just going to kind of let him grow there. He's really protective over his anemone. The other one is just not getting it at all. It's a weird relationship. I don't even know what's going on with them. Bandit shrimp's doing good as usual. If I can ever find the emerald crab, he's doing well. He's kind of all over the place. There he is. Is that him? No, that's not him. He's around here somewhere. He always tends to find his way towards the bottom when that flow stops because he knows it's about to be feeding time. Same with these guys. They always like to head towards the bottom. My free, what do you call it? Coral keeps growing. I have 3 heads now, looks like. I was going to pluck the algae around it, but it seems to be doing okay on its own. Kind of clean the algae around it. What else? There's one big Aptasia somewhere seen right there. I need to get him, which I'm going to with Joe's juice after feeding him. I'll let the water circulate again. Get everybody calm down and then stop it all again, all the flow, everything. And coat that sucker and then have to put some. There's one right back there that you can see is kind of not growing. Like you can see the spots that are growing back. But there's one right there I need to get. Besides that, the Yeah, all the little things are coming out. So, you know, the green star polyps are starting to make a comeback. What else? There's the emerald crab. I'm blind. Right there, chilling. He's getting kind of big. What else? That's pretty much it. Scooter has grown since I got him. When I got him, he was so small. The bad shrimp almost got him and ate him. But now he's big enough and able to quickly get away. Plus, he's much bigger. Plus, I scared him with my little grabbers when he attempted to grab Scoot. So he hasn't bothered him since, which is great. I just bought, open this up, a new filter the other day. This is about 2 days worth of filtration. My skimmer's doing good. It's been doing really well. It's getting some really nasty water out, which is good. This is still pretty clean. It could use a wipe, but it's not bad yet. What else? Salt Crete hasn't been too bad on this. I mean, there's a little here and there. Just gotta wipe it off as soon as I see it. That way it doesn't build up. No leaks, nothing. I use this meter, so I put a finger, so I need to add some. I like to keep it touching the bottom of the finger, so there's a little gap. I'd say less than a centimeter, about a centimeter or so. So that's the way I range like the amount of water. Once the flow is all full going and everything's restored and the water, builds up in every chamber, that's how I know, what level I want it at. So I just keep a fresh, bottle of fresh water, RO water. Or I like ROI water, but I don't have that yet. I like to get an ROI system anyways for the house. It's just cleaner water for cooking, for everything, showering, and the water's not so hard and everything. So, I'm gonna look into that. That's an upgrade I want to do later on for the house. There's lots of upgrades that's gonna get done this year. I forgot to get shells the other day when I was at the pet store. I really look at him digging because there's shrimp that gets buried between the algae and the stuff. He likes digging. My horseshoe crab, I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him since I got him. I've seen him molt one time since I got him, and that was it. Besides that, I've not seen him. And there's quite a bit of gravel here. There's lots of places for him to hide. It just sucks. I really want to see him. Look at everybody anticipating the shrimp. You guys are so bad. Well, I should check on it. I usually wait till it melts, I try not to give the whole cube. That's a lot of shrimp for this size tank. A lot of waste you don't want. Try to minimize the waste. I do rinse out that filter. They do last quite a while, say about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4. Due to all the shrimp and everything I feed. I rinse them out in that period of time. So I get about a cartridge of 2 of them for $10. Lasts me 2.5 months, which isn't bad. I could probably get longer out of them, but I want really good filtration so my water stays clear. There might be algae growing here and there, but my water's real clear, real beautiful color water. So, real clean. So I'm real happy with that. Everyone seems to be happy. In the beginning, I kind of overfed him, and you can see those poop in his tentacles or waste or whatever you want to call that. That's not bueno. Fed him too much in the beginning. I'm cutting it back. I probably should only feed him like once a week or once every like 4 or 5 days. So I'm going to try to do that. Same with him. He had a little bit, but he is growing new tentacles. He seems to be doing really well. Like, he's been liking the spots he's been finding. I'm just letting him move on his own. As long as he's not on top of a coral or something that's hurting it. I've seen him right next to the mushroom, right next to the leather, and right next to the mushrooms, and they don't bother each other. Those kind of close up whenever flow stops. It worries them. They kind of close up a little bit, but this has quite a few heads on it. I can't wait till that takes over. I am going to do some coraloids. I haven't done that in a while because I wanted to slow the growth down of this guy mainly and him. I may do coraloids on everybody else, and if they get a little bit, no foul, no harm. So that's pretty much it. I just want to do an update. This is well over 6 weeks. I got the tank somewhere in early August. Was it August? I'm trying to think. I think it was end of September. I gotta check because I actually posted similar like a few weeks later since I got the tank. I gotta check it, but I know it's been over 6 months for sure. It has been 6 months at least. I'm pretty positive of that. Everything's pretty matured. You know, what sucks is one of my clownfish got super big and the other one didn't really grow, so I don't know what's going on with him. In the beginning, they were inseparable all the way up to about, I'd say, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. He started hanging out in anemones, and the other guy didn't, and now they just don't hang out. They kind of always fight. I don't know if it's for dominance or what it may be. I know the larger one typically becomes the female in a dominant relationship, but I don't know what's going on with this situation. Who's the female, who's the male? I don't know much of anything. So, and I'm not going to get any more scooters or dragonettes. Here's a heed warning. Heed this warning. They're a pain in the butt. They are expert level fish, which I understand, but they're picky eaters. If you have a steady supply of tiger pots, I mean steady, hundreds and hundreds, every day, you're good to go. But if you do not have a steady supply and you feed shrimp, they like to eat just a little bit. Then they want to eat a little bit later. Then they want to eat a little bit later. So you literally have to put a little bit of shrimp so many times a day, which I cannot do that. So they're a little on the skinny side. They're live. They've been alive probably almost 5 months at least. He's been alive. He's the third fish I've ever had. I added the 2 clownfish at the same time, and then he was the third fish I've ever added in a tank. So besides the clownfish, he's the second oldest in this tank per se. So the schooner blenny was actually the last fish I added. So because I thought he was so cool and he was so little. So honestly, we'll see how everything goes. I am about to restore the flow for the anemone, because he does not like, whenever flow stops or slows down, he like closes up, his tentacles get all small. Tentacles were much longer. I'm gonna restore the flow for a little while this basically melts to the point that I want it. Some fish like it a little bit colder, some fish want it completely thawed out. So I don't know, just figure out what your fish like. I do have to wait for this to become room temperature, because that water's between 78 and 80. So if you put, you know, cold phytoplankton and it shocks the phytoplankton, you know, it shocks everything. So that's why they tell you to, even if you get, you know, tiger pods or whatever in a bottle, you let it warm back up to room temperature and then you put it in. So I added both bottles during the day, not at night. I didn't see too many creeds. They were so small, they were very hard to see. Hopefully there's a decent amount in each bottle. You know, one was frozen, one was not, so I got, not frozen, but one was refrigerated, one was not, so I kind of tried both. Hopefully there's enough. And I apologize for this. This is just my fireplace, has little fans built in down there, and it circulates the heat and it blows it, and it warms up this room and any other room it could reach. I'm gonna replace those with much quieter, more powerful fans. It's just I haven't got a chance to do that. It's part of the upgrades. But anyways, sorry, you know, I apologize about the noise. But besides that, the timer works perfectly. The filtration, I've not cleaned out that pump yet. That's about due. The circulation pump, I've cleaned out a couple times. I mean, it's really basic maintenance to this. It's just changing the water. You know, that 4 gallons once a week, you know, 4 times a month, that's 16 gallons. This is a 32-gallon tank. You're changing 50% of the water in a month's time. And that what allows you to have this much corals and that many fish and not really have any problems. I don't get ammonia spikes. I don't get the most I've ever seen is maybe 20-30 parts per million or whatever you want to call it, nitrates or whatever. That's as high as about it's been, and that's about almost 2 weeks time, about a week and a half's time I tested at that point was the highest. So as long as I change water once a week, I can give them shrimp, whatever I need to give them, keep them alive, do well, and then I have to change that water once a week. That way it keeps those levels down. I've tested them every single time for months and months, and it was the same result, same result. As long as I don't do anything different and I always change the water, I don't test that often unless I see something's going on. Honestly, I'm not recommending for you to do that, but in my case, the magnesium stays steady as long as I change the water. The alkalinity stays between 8 and 9. Never got any lower than, I think, 8, maybe 7 one time. And that's because I changed water almost 2 weeks later. What else? Phosphates don't get too crazy, don't get hardly anything. What else? So calcium is the only thing this tank consumes. the coral consumes calcium. I know some vertebrates need some calcium. Obviously, these need calcium. These need calcium. Torches, that needs calcium. There's a few corals and a few creatures in here that need calcium. So I dose anywhere from 1 to 2 milligrams a week. Most higher doses, I think 3 or 4 milligrams in a week's time. So it's not like a lot of calcium. I just do it, about midway before in the middle of the water cycle, in between, having new water put in and then changing it. Somewhere in between there in the middle, I dose anywhere from 1 to 4 milligrams. Typically about 2.5 milligrams is just about right. And it's still on the low side. I probably could do 4. So, it still keeps it good enough to where everything grows and is okay. What else? That's pretty much it. And then coraloids I slowed down with because the growth was so crazy. What else? Iodine, did it there for a while and I stopped. I just do a drop every few weeks in there just for them vertebrates to have iodine in the water. I don't have iodine test, so that's why I don't do a lot of dosing with iodine, because I don't have a test for it. I like to not dose what I don't have tests for. So that's why, I have magnesium, phosphates, I have all these calcium, alkalinity, all these tests, and the Reef test kit. Well, not the Reef, I have saltwater kit, and I bought the stuff that basically made it the Reef kit, plus saltwater. So, it's nice to have them. You'll figure out what your water consumes and how fast it gets dirty, routine, I try to feed the same amount of times a day. Trying to get a schedule to where I know when I have to change the water, how long the water's good for. So each tank's different, every scenario is different. Just because you have the same size tank, same amount of fish, and your water may need to be changed once every 2 weeks, it just depends on your circumstance. The more often, obviously, in my opinion, the better. You don't want to get your good bacteria down either, so it's a balance. That's why I have so much live rocks. I have bioceramic balls in the back, so there's a lot of stuff to maintain the bacteria count really high. By putting in shrimp and other things the bacteria loves. So I'm doing things to definitely keep the bacteria count up. There's also bottles you can buy. After it cycled later on, I think in the 2nd or 3rd month I owned it, I did a boost, the 9, I guess after established tanks. I put that in just to kind of make sure the bacteria levels were right, because I had no way of checking that. So that ensured that I had enough bacteria in here, good bacteria, which you kind of tell, I guess, with the ammonia levels and other levels, but this ensured that I had enough. And then I had one issue with the Aptasia, which was all because of this rock right here. It has the mushrooms on it. Came from a pet store that had Aptasia, of course. The only rock I did not, and then I started doing iodine dips, and then that wasn't really necessary because I haven't got any much corals after that. I did get the bestial, or whatever you want to call it, the worms. As long as they don't multiply too crazy. I heard they eat poop and waste and stuff, and they're kind of like a cleanup crew that lives in these rocks. They only mainly come out at night. Every once in a while you'll see one during the day. They can pinch you. They have little spike things and they can pinch you. But besides that, really, I've had too many pests. I would love to see my horseshoe crab, but that's probably not going to happen unless he happens to come out. Maybe he comes out at night, I don't notice it. They're hunting again. See, for a while you can tell when there's no copepods or tetrapods in here, because he won't climb on walls and stuff. He'll just sit on the ground because he knows there's nothing. I guess he's seen something and he'll start to climb walls and look for them. Scoot's been out doing that. So I'm hoping they multiply and regenerate. I don't know the cycle, how many days it takes for them to reproduce. The first bottle was added 2 or 3 days ago, and the other one I just added like yesterday. So I'm hoping, and I don't know if it's a week's time or a few days, I'm hoping they reproduce and fill up all these cracks and just keep reproducing. That's why I keep a steady flow of the phytoplankton. There's just a lot, I want to get done. I wouldn't mind buying the chamber refugium that separates it in half. It's just the thing that slides in there plus all the media and everything. You're looking at 60, 70 bucks, and then you have to buy the light. That's another 20 or 30. You have to get the algae, which probably isn't expensive, and then you have to run that, and then separate it and hope that you have to buy another bottle of tetrapods, put them in there, and hope that they regenerate. I do want tetrapods over all of them. They're more nutritious. They're bigger. So those are the ones I want to go for. Right now, I'm happy to have any kind of pod in here that they can eat, or crustaceans, whatever you want to call them. I'm hoping they have, anything they can find and eat, because I want him more healthier. I want him to gain some weight and be healthy. I don't want him skinny like that. I feel bad. So these are extremely, most folks honestly, they die within like anywhere from 2 to like 5 weeks of owning it. So me having it that long, it's keeping it alive. I'm not saying it's healthy and prospering. I wish I was. But Scoot looks a lot better than him, because I've noticed Scoot was smart. He was the first one to eat frozen shrimp, and he was the first one that I saw pecking at, I got really small sinkable pellets. So they're really, really small, so they can both eat them. And I noticed him actually eating those as well. So that's why I think he's doing much better. He seems to eat more variety of food. So we'll just kind of see. Man, I tell you what, this thing really makes a difference. The blower, like when you have a normal fire, you can feel the heat like right by here. I feel like the blower, if you're like out here by the couch, further away, you can still kind of feel the warmth. So that's really nice. Sorry for the noise though, but I just want to test it today and see how it warms up the room and how much less my heat has to kick on. So anyways, there's Mr. Willis hanging out. He's my buddy. Got a little crust in his eye. I put some medicine that gets his eyes watering and it kind of flushes everything out naturally without having to dig in his eye, which I'd much rather prefer to do it naturally. There's the good old, look how big those have gotten. These were small and they're like monsters. Look at the size of that thing. They're gonna be looking for much bigger shells. I promise you that. I need to find a store that has bigger shells. I'm gonna call around and I'm gonna remove the small ones, and then I may leave them. I might clean them up and leave them just because they look cool, I guess. But I want bigger shells for them. I don't want them fighting and killing each other for shells. That's terrible. No crab should have to go through that. This rock was one of the best investments ever, guys. These rocks, they have big caves and holes and places to hide and so much room for everything. Lot of life. They were really cultured. I got free coral out of it. I did not get aptasia from this rocks at all. So, you know, because it was kept in a tank as filtration with no lighting. Keyword, no lighting. So that's what kind of kept everything, you know, from getting a bunch of pests on it. Well, at least for that, at least I lucked out. What else? That's pretty much it, really. I just wanted to kind of show around. You can see a couple trying to figure out where my turbo snails are. They just hide so many different places. I have about 3 or 4 turbo snails. I'm trying to find them. Probably could see them better than I can. I'm blind as a bat. There's a good shot of the emerald crab. He's like, hey. But they're around here, turbo snails. Hopefully no one's eating them or bothering them. I had a few big ones. I don't know where they're at. I know that if I can't hurry up and get these shells, and then them shells get too small and too tight, they will kill a turbo snail to get their shell. So I gotta kind of watch that. I don't know where they're hiding at. I know I have some for sure. There's some more aptasia, which I'm gonna treat. There's Scoot. Where are you? There's usually a couple in this corner. I'm trying to look around and find them. Like, I'm having a hard time finding them. Don't know why. Usually they're pretty big shells. Like that tells you how much like places there is to hide in here. Like some of them get underneath the corals, like to hide underneath the mushrooms. Like there's plenty of places to hide. I'm just trying to look around real quick. There's some of the older shells. Is that a clam? I don't know. I think some of them on the back rocks back there. I can't see them. But they are in here. There's at least 2 or 3, maybe 4. I replaced one because one was suicidal. But there you have it. There's a damsel. He's still doing good. He hasn't grown. He's grown a little bit. Actually, he's grown a little bit, but he's really shy. He loves hiding in the caves and the rock work. Like, he's one of the best hiders I've ever seen. One day, I couldn't find him for like an entire day just because he was going through those caves and they all kind of connect through, and he can pop out all the way up here and he pop out over here. It's crazy. Like, he knows the rock work really well. So he had me worried there, but yeah, he's still doing good. Man, he's scooting around fast. just looking for food. They're all expecting, because the flow was off for a minute, they're expecting food or something that you put in the tank. He's hanging on good in the spot there. He obviously likes it because of the flow. He'll get full back up, but as soon as I turn off the flow, it really upsets him. He loves flow. There's Scoot. They're all looking around. Hopefully those bigger pods and copepods kind of reproduce a lot, and hopefully he finds something. Let's see if he pecks at something over here. He's like, don't watch me, I'm shy. Uh-oh. Come on. Nah. So ain't much of nothing, man. Sorry, buddy, the shrimp is almost all completely out. So anyways, I'm gonna check on stuff. You know, everything else has been holding up. The cabinet's holding up just fine. I haven't really ran out of anything besides the filters I had to change out. And Puri came and changed out one of those as well about 2 months ago. I get about 2.5, 3 months out of those. Those switches are amazing for me. They're all on right now. An angle you can hardly tell, but they're all on right now. Everything has been working really well, so I'm really happy. The temperature gun is always nice, testing the water before I, when I get it buckets ready, make sure it's the right temperature. And just everything's been working really well. I'm really happy. Still using the turkey baster for feeding shrimp and stuff. So everything's been working great. I just wanted to do an update with you guys and share everything. And the hobby's fun. I kind of, honestly, my tank's dirty. Don't make fun of me for that, because it is dirty and I know that. I will clean it up, maybe do an update video later on. And that's pretty much it. So I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.